Okay, so I hope this is working. I was trying to stream before, but something happened with the with OBS, and I don't know. Maybe I'm a boomer. So anyway, we'll get into this. This video is more or less a simulation for a junior dev in Japan, and we'll go through the basics of how much you can make. Excuse me. How much you can get back after taxes, how much his rent will be, how much life is worth. Not worth, but you know what I mean. So, yeah, let's go through this and I'll try and explain each part as I go. So, this is your junior dev. He's happy and ready, and he's imported everything he needs to get his life started. Okay, so what we'll do first, we're trying to figure out what would be this junior dev's yearly income. Okay, so I'll have it underneath here, but first let's have a look at some, and we'll just have a check on Indeed. Like, I could just give you what I already know how much you'll make, but let's have a look here. So we searched for junior web developer, and then we won't add any requirements. Maybe here like intern or newly hired, but we'll just leave it at that as junior web dev. And the first job comes up here's monthly 30,000 yen to 60,000 yen. Okay, that's Sanjuma. 280, 280,000 yen. No, sorry, 2,800,000 per year. These are all just engineering jobs. This one's a bit high. We'll have a look around more. So I don't think, here's a junior, 250,000 yen per month. That's like, what, just around 2K USD? So per month, he or she will be making 250,000 to 350,000, depending on the company. But to be honest, this is more of a realistic junior dev income. And this is for your average company in Japan. Local and not foreign, maybe most likely local. This is how, this company, this is how they do it. 250,000 yen a month. And then there's like a bonus twice a year. I think that's bonus. Let me check. I don't know the actual translation. It's like bonus. Yeah, bonus twice a year. And then, so the first year you'll be making that 3 million yen. The third year, 5 million yen. The sixth year, 7 million yen. So we're going to judge it on that more or less. Okay, so we don't have to look at it anymore. We kind of got the number which I thought as well. And then so I put mine a bit higher. I put 3.6 million yen. But let's say you get 3.6 million yen a year, which is, that monthly will be Sanjuman, 300,000 yen. And that comes up to around 26,000 USD for junior. And before you think, I can make way more as a junior dev in my country, we're going to go through to see how much the cost of living and things like that are. Because you can probably make double in Auckland City or Sydney, but you'll be paying a lot more for rent and just the basic food. I don't even know where I can find like a good $5 meal in Auckland City or Sydney. So in Japan, you can get a $5 meal. So post taxes, so this is the part which, if you make this 3.6 million yen, how much would you pay for taxes? So I calculated you'd have left over 2.8 million yen, so 21,000 USD around. So how did I calculate this? We can do a real simple, there's a calculator online, Japan tax calculator. And this is not exact. Like this is not a, but this is a good understanding of how much you will be taxed. And then, so we will put in his income how much was it? 3.6 million yen. So 3.6 million yen is for his income, his or her income. And then we have three options here. Company employee, first year in Japan, or blue return slip. Blue return slip is for freelancers, so you don't worry about that, just leave that. We'll go company employee. So as you see, once you go company employee, you get taxed less, because I think the company pays some of these taxes. So you'll get 2873. That's about what I got. You also remember, if it's your first year, you don't pay residence tax, because residence tax is your previous year's income. It's based on your previous year's income. So I don't know why so you won't be, so if you are in your first year, you could add, but I'll just make it so you will be paying it, just to make it simple. So the first year you won't pay income tax. You won't pay, residence tax. But we'll just leave it at 2.8 million yen, which is 21,000 USD. So what can this guy do with, what is it? 2.8 million yen. So we're going to look now how much he makes after his taxes. So after taxes, 239,000 yen, 1.8k USD. So we're going to see how he could enjoy his life with 239,000. And to be honest, it's I mean, if you're a single guy, you're not going to buy anything fancy. You're not going to buy anything crazy. You're not going to invest in crazy stuff. So we'll go down now and check out his monthly expenses. And so the most expensive thing you will be paying is for your rent or an apartment. And I usually recommend people who come here for the first year to go to a share house. And I recommend two share houses that I actually know of. One is called X Cross and Oak House, but I'll reveal the price. So I would say for a share house, it could be somewhere around 70,000 yen. So 70,000 yen is your average. You can find cheaper and you can find more expensive. But the reason I recommend share houses is because I'll show you after. But first, I'll show you X Cross House. So how can I open the link? X Cross House is quite reasonable. It's quite cheap. So you can have 4 different types of rooms. One is dormitory, which is the cheapest at 29,000. But they also have utilities. So if you look at, was an example. So here, okay, I'm trying to look for a realistic place. You got to go quite a bit. And look, if it's cheaper, it's probably female only. So you have to be a female. You can't be a male or anything else. You have to be female. Triggered, I know. Look at this Kinshicho area. It's after Ryogoku. So for this place, okay, this is a dormitory. It's reasonably clean. I mean, it's not dirty at all. And so you'd have the top or bottom. And the location is quite okay. And then where's the price? So the dormitory is 24,000 yen. The private room is 44,000. But remember, there's a service fee of 15,000 yen with initial cost of 30,000 yen. So you won't be paying. You won't be paying so much initially. So that's the good part as well. 60,000 yen, under 60,000 yen, and that's if you were to go to a private room under 60,000. And most of the other rooms are quite similar, but this company, the good thing is it's quite cheap. It's quite cheap and it's clean. But you can choose like a fully furnished apartment. But I think once you go to the furnished apartment, it gets quite expensive, and it's from 38,000, but it usually is more. I just recommend private room. Just get your like own private room with a small desk and chair so you can work. And then you can probably rent bedding and things like that. But they're all in these small kind of houses. So that's one of them. But the only problem with this place compared to, let's say, this one, Oak House. I stayed at Oak House when I first came here, and it's quite good. It has, the prices have increased. So it's all over Japan. And the other part about, I don't know, I'm not going to search, but I might as well. So let's say I'm going to Setagaya. So here we've got a share house, vacancy soon, 56,000 around. So here this one's quite a bit more expensive because it's in the hipster area. So it's from 60,000 to 100,000. Okay, we'll look at Shibuya, Meguro, and Setagaya share houses. Expected from next month. A lot of them are vacancy soon. So I don't even know if they have rooms available. But let's say they did. So you can see it goes up to 60, but then you'd have to pay a monthly utilities fee. Okay, so first you have to pay a contract fee. Some of these can get a bit messy. 50,000 yen for the contract fees, like $500. You rent this place for 550. Maintenance is, so here you end up paying 77,000 yen. And I think this is an apartment. This is an apartment. This is an apartment. But the good part about this Oak House is that, okay, it's a small apartment and it probably is a bit overpriced. It's probably not even a, yeah, 77,000 and foreign friendly. So, hey, that's pretty good actually. So we'll just say it's going to be around 70,000. And the reason you want a share house as well is you won't know anyone. So when you come here, you see these photos of these happy people, like, are they probably the workers? But you'll get something, you get happy vibes. But if you went straight to your own apartment, you'll just feel like a loner, unless that's fine with you, you know. But if you were to, let's say you had a bit of money, and then your company can help you find your own place to rent, not through these share houses. So you'd have to go through this website called Sumo. And then the link, it's already filtered through. Like, let's say you wanted to live near Shibuya area. And then, so let's say I'd go through, so in my filtering, I put Gaikokuseki. Gaikokuseki means a foreign resident in the search, just in case, because to be honest, I think most places don't allow foreigners, unless you're really good at Japanese, or maybe your company's like a massive company. So I'll just give you the cheapest examples. And then, okay, this is okay here. This place is Rokuman. And then the utilities is 2,000 yen, third floor. So Wojak can rent here for under or around Rokuman, 60,000 yen. You got a window but no view. You get a small little kitchen where you can cook and clean. There's your bathroom unit, nothing fancy. But you'll have a lot more peace and quiet staying here than you would in one of these share houses. Because you know, these share houses, like especially Oak House, when I stayed there many years ago, there's always house parties. People are noisy. And then they invite other foreigners, and then, yeah, it starts getting noisy. But if you really need your peace and quiet, then yeah, just try and rent your own place. And that's nearby Shibuya. So if I check this, so Wojak wants to live near Shibuya because maybe his office is near Shibuya. And then this is where the house is. Shinjuku's closer. So this whole area here, Hatsudai, Hatagaya, is quite cheap. So if you were to, let's say you go to Shibuya, let's say your office is here, like this, just a bit outside here. So it's 41 minutes. A 41-minute walk, 17-minute bike ride. It's not bad then. You're very central. If you had to take a train, but you kind of don't need to, it's a little silly. There's probably a bus as well. But that's pretty good, right? 40-minute walk or 17-minute bike ride. So you can go to here, Wojak will go to work. Then maybe after he can enjoy going out with friends, having a drink at an izakaya. Then when it gets late, let's say he's really wasted, he'll just take a taxi home. It'll be really cheap. Okay, so even if you find a place and it's like rokuman, nanaman, like 60 or 70,000, and it's better than a share house, you still have to remember they have a thing called, okay, I'll show you here. They have a thing called, so for example, I really like this place. So they have something called shikikin. First I'll read this one. Shikikin here, and then deikin. Shikikin is your deposit, which you will get back. Well, you hopefully should get back at the end of the 2-year contract. It's a 2-year contracts. And then deikin is a gift money to the landlord. Silly, right? I mean, I don't know. This might also happen in Korea or China. I'm not too sure, but I don't know if it's just Japan who does this. But that's a small place, 16 square meters. So in reality, you'll be paying for the first month, you'll be paying your initial month. In most cases, you'll be paying the deikin, the deposit. So if anything happens, it's covered. If you break something accidentally, then the deikin is a gift money to the landlord. Now there's one more thing that doesn't show, and that's usually agency fee. So when you go to ask them to have a look, it would go through to an agent. This is not the sumo is just a service. So when the agent will usually cost you 1 month of the rent. So easily, like even you look at here, it's only got 2. But sometimes it goes 4, sometimes even 5 times. So you have to keep that in mind. That's why I always recommend share houses, just something easier for your first month. So even if your rent is like 70,000, like nanaman, so you'll be paying around 28만 at least, maybe, or even more at your initial costs. So that's something to keep in mind. And if you're a junior dev, you probably don't have a lot of money, or maybe just ask your parents, or you probably do have a lot of money. So that's the monthly expenses for rent. The next one is food. So how much is food for Wojak? So the good thing about Japan now, so you already see that that's pretty cheap, right? I couldn't get something that cheap in Auckland City or Sydney. So that's why you can't just look at this and go, oh man, I can get way more in my city. You will get more, but you'll be spending more on just the basic things. And look, this is not the cheapest. You can go, we saw in X-Cross, they have some 30,000 yen places. So there are really cheap places if you don't want to spend money. The next one is food. So let's say, I would say this. You'd spend 2,000 yen per day. So what, 20 bucks or something? So it's 60,000 yen per month. And then the thing is here, you can see it think of it this way. 500 yen will give you a bento. This case, this bento is 298. This is 2000, this is quite old maybe. It's quite a cheap bento. I don't know when's this date. 2016 is that? But anyway, you can find bentos for under 500 yen, right? So you can think of it this way: with 2,000 yen, this will be my lunch, and this is my dinner. So that's 1,000 yen. 1,000 yen for 2 meals. Yeah, times 2 for 2 meals. And you don't even need to have breakfast, right? You just have lunch and dinner. Then if you have a coffee, just coffee, nothing else, they can cost you under 500 yen. You can find it's probably cheaper at Veloce. So cafe chains where you're allowed to work at a cafe for a bit, or maybe after work you want to chill out and use your computer somewhere. They can much under 500 yen, like 350, like $3 to some place. Look, you just go to McDonald's, it's $1. It's 100 yen. So you can see that spending 2,000 yen per day is quite a comfortable. I mean, this is compared to whatever. Let's say you have one of these for lunch, then you have a coffee after dinner, and then for dinner you have a food chain, like a fast Japanese style food, or Japanese, it's not Japanese food, but it's Japanese fast food chains. You can get 130 yen for a decent meal. I would say it's not like some type of nice restaurant. This is just like meat and rice and some soup, and you get like matsuya, what's this, sukiya, yoshinoya, so you got a meat on rice, 550 yen, freshly cooked. It's pretty good. It's not bad, actually, not bad at all. So that's how you can be spending that much. Of course, you can spend 2 or 3, 4 times this money. This is not including partying. This is just for everyday food. Of course, you can spend way more. So that's the thing about Japan. You have a lower end that's quite, it's not bad, to a higher end. And of course, you can go spend 2,000 on one meal, like a really good meal. So that's food. So we're chipping away at this, and then we'll go to transportation. And then if you're an engineer for a company, if you work for a company, the company pays your transportation to work. So you won't be, and if you want to go somewhere, that's on you. But if you, for example, if you have a teiki or like some type of card that gets you transport to your office every day, you can use that when you go out on the weekends. I think you can. It's like unlimited pass to your office station, and usually the company pays for your transportation. There is a limit. I think it might be something like, depending on the companies, they have their own rules, but from what I've seen, it's somewhere between like $200 and $300 limit per month. And the last one is how much will you spend on going out? And that is, let's say you're an average guy, and you have konbini drinks with some friends outside. That's like 300 yen, 200 yen for a Sapporo tall boy. You have 1 or 2 of these with your friends, you chat up. You don't chat up anyway, you just have chats outside in the car park. Then you go with your girlfriends, because everyone, you have your girlfriends, and then you go karaoke for, maybe you'll go izakaya first. Okay, we'll split this, we'll change this around. These are just stock images, guys, so calm down. So you'd go to an izakaya or something. This is like your typical Tokyo. You can replace that with a bar. But let's say you have you've got hot dates because you're the man, because you code in what are all the cool guys coding? I don't know. Cool guys probably don't code. They probably do sales or something. So you go to an izakaya, Japanese bar, and you're not going, okay, I'm just joking, you don't go with these guys, you're just going with your friends. What the hell's that? And then you have quite a few drinks, and you have some food. it's going to cost you 5,000 yen, 5,000 yen to Ichiman. Depending, like this is there is a variation of izakayas. There is a variety of izakayas, and let's just say the lower end can cost you under that even, and then the high end for one person could cost you this much for the night. And then you want to go karaoke after. Then for the karaoke, each person pays around 500 yen each per hour. But there's all these other fees, so you end up spending. So anyway, you can see that in one weekend, in one night, let's say Friday night or Saturdays with the boys, you can easily spend ichiman. So I just made let's say you go out 6 times in a month, because you might go on a Friday night or Saturday night, or maybe you go on a Thursday night. So we just say each time you go out, you might drop ichiman. So that's 6 times a week or a month, because you're young and you want to enjoy the city, you want to enjoy Japan. That's how much it will cost you. So if we add up all these costs, but you can spend a lot very quickly in Tokyo if you like craft beer, you better you'll be spending a lot. That leaves you with 49,000 yen. So it's like under 500 bucks. And that money is, I don't know, you probably waste it more on this stuff. Or not waste it because you're enjoying it. You spend it more on this. Maybe you spend it more on this. Maybe you go on a trip every 3 months. You save up this and you go on trips around Japan. So yeah, you can see now that this is not as bad as you think it is. I mean, if you see 1.8k after taxes as a junior dev, hey, I mean, you're not going to like buy fancy clothes, right? You're just going to be doing this all the time with your friends, to be honest. And this will cost you a lot more if you, I mean, I don't know, there's the stock images, but you got to show her how cool you are. You got to take her to the places, got to show her around. But yeah, that's the Junior Dev Simulator Japan. And he's got he's imported all the right dependencies. So he's ready to go. So I think, I think that's it for this video. I was trying to make a stream about it, but yeah, I'm having problems with the stream a lot. I'm not really good at this technical stuff, but yeah, so if that's interesting or you have a complaint, don't hesitate to complain in the comment section. But let me know what you think, if this is about right, if you're already experienced here. But if you are not, do you think this is expensive? Do you think this is, you get tax too much? But this tax is low, kind of, right? I don't know. I think it's kind of low because you won't be making so much, so you won't be. Japan has quite a progressive tax system. Yeah, let me know what you think. As always, like, sub, and check out the Discord and my LinkedIn. And I'll see you next time when we do the Tree of Waifu stream. But I hope that stream people, yeah, I hope, I don't know how to do that stream. It's a bit, I don't want to get in trouble, I'm not some type of Andrew Tate kind of dude. I'm just a normal, everyday normie. So thank you, and I'll see you when I see you.